Newt Gingrich was talking to James Dobson, the head of
Focus on the Family.
Right, the head of I Hate Your Family, unless it's just like mine. So he acknowledged in an interview with James Dobson, of Focus on the Family, that's going to be aired tomorrow, and a transcript was provided to the Associated Press. He admitted to having an extramarital affair.
Okay.
Right, which we sort of knew about with Newt.
Yeah, we kind of knew about that. Ben, what's the big deal?
He had an affair while married, obviously, and he did it during the Clinton impeachment. So during the day, he would lead the impeachment fight against Bill Clinton. And remember, he ran the Republicans there, so I don't want to hear about Henry Hyde or anybody else in the impeachment. Newt Gingrich says go, you go. Newt Gingrich says stop, you stop. End of issue. And he said the answer is yes to whether he had an affair. There are times that I have fallen short of my own standards, and there's certainly times when I've fallen short of God's standard.
I want to explain my background again so you understand where I'm coming from on this issue. At the time that Clinton gets the Monica Lewinsky affair, I'm a conservative talk show host. Now, I'm not, the Rush Limbaugh of the world. I'm on some radio stations on the weekends and stuff like that, right? But I love it, right? I'm like, we got him, right? And at that time, I'm already wavering a little bit because I'm like, man, this guy's doing a pretty good job with welfare reform, and the economy's pretty good, and a lot of stuff's pretty good. He didn't turn out quite as bad as I expected, but he's working with the Republican Congress, is what I keep saying, right? So in the beginning, I'm excited. It's a fun story. We caught the president with, having an affair with Monica Lewinsky, and she's not even that hot, right? So I'm the kind of Republican who cares about balanced, or I was, the kind of cares about balanced budgets, free trade, peace through strength, New World Order, all that stuff. But I'm obviously not a religious Republican by any stretch. I was thought the same way.
I don't believe there's a religion that would have you.
That's certainly true. So, but as the thing wears on, and I keep thinking, hey, listen, this was fun, but really? You're going to try to impeach this guy on this?
It's one thing to embarrass him politically with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was all fun and games until they really took it seriously. And at that point, I couldn't quite believe it. I was like, no, you're kidding, right? I mean, anybody would lie under that circumstance. I mean, you got into the dude's life, right? I mean, you got into every nook and cranny. You get into anybody's every nook and cranny, and you focused on sex. And now you're going to impeach. The guy's doing a pretty good job. Now you're going to impeach the guy? I mean, as Ben says often on the show, that's why at the beginning of the impeachment, Clinton's approval rating was at 72%, because a lot of people felt the same way that I did. Hey, I might have been a Republican, but did that make any kind of sense, right? Because it's clearly about the sex. And now we find out, Mr., Newt Gingrich, it wasn't about the sex, when everybody in the country knew it was about the sex. Every day he'd go in there and he'd be like, what the president did is awful and hideous. And every night he'd go home and he'd screw his mistress. I mean, I don't know what positions he got into. I don't know if they did oral. I don't know what else they did, okay? But every night he'd be like, we're impeaching a guy for this. And look at what I'm doing to you, mistress. And then he'd go back home to his wife, presumably, and then laugh at her behind her back. We're impeaching the guy because of this. And look at what I'm doing. I'm cheating on you every single day. The same exact thing. I mean, the nerve of these people.
And the explanation inside their head. No, this is perjury. It's perjury. So I can justify it. So I'm not a hypocrite. For the love of God. Just call yourself a hypocrite.
Perjury my ass. Okay? Look, again, at the time I'm a Republican. And if you're a Republican now who's like, no, it was about the perjury, it was never about the sex, and it wasn't because we got into his life and investigated every nook and cranny, and we spent $80 million, and it turned out whitewater and everything else was nothing, right? You're living in a cloud. I swear to you, you're living in a cloud. You can't see straight because you're so partisan. Because you're on Team R, and Republican team would never do anything wrong. Look, at the end of the Clinton administration, I'm still a Republican. I'm considering voting for George W. Bush. But when I look back at Whitewater, I think, man, they had nothing on the dude. It turns out they spent all that money, and Ken Starr, the most vigilant, if some would say partisan prosecutor of all time, goes in and spends like $80 million, and he had bupkis. It turns out they made up the whole thing. They didn't have anything on him in the first place, and then they go after a perjury thing on sex while they're all cheating. It turned out the guy who was going to replace Gingrich,
Bob Livingston,
he was also cheating on his wife at the time. Okay? I mean, and then Henry Hyde had affairs. They all had affairs. Come on, man. The hypocrisy is so rich, you can cut it with a knife. When is it going to be enough?